So, Sue, would I be a crazed fan to think that the novel Semiosis is brilliant, or is that a reasonable opinion?
Um, that's not mine to say. I mean, it's like telling a woman she's beautiful. Maybe she is, maybe she's not. She has a secret opinion, but that's for other people to judge.
Hmm.
I do like it. I had a wonderful time writing it. Um, and I think it's a good novel, but other people can decide what they think.
What was wonderful about writing the novel?
Well, as I say, it was trying to imagine another place, another time, thinking about how other people and other entities would approach the problems in the novel, and also setting up problems for them to have to solve. I spent a lot of time thinking and asking questions, but also being respectful of what plants are like. Um, Too, I mean, if nothing else, I came away understanding that plants are real important beings of themselves.
Hmm. Brilliant. How do you understand a mind that thinks totally different from yours? How did Sue Burke create such an engaging version of the problem of understanding a consciousness that is radically different from our own? From listening to what you said, you feel that the characters you're writing have some kind of independence, and you're not doing the writing. But, you know, if you thought that 100%, you'd be psychotic. If if you really believe that, if you really thought that this literary character is not of your making, doesn't come from you, if you really believe that, you'd be psychotic, right?
Hmm. But I do have imaginary friends,
Okay.
and I
What
know they're imaginary, but
what are your
they're
what are okay, so what are your imaginary friends?
they're the people I'm writing about. Um, and what are they like? But you're right. If you need a little bit of distance, and you know that this is all make believe, but you can make believe in a really serious way.
And what we're talking about is the mystery of writing, the mystery of art. What Coleridge called willing suspension of disbelief. That
Mhm.
that and which happens to audiences when they're watching a film, that they're reacting emotionally, but they know people aren't being beheaded. That sort of thing. And like I said, if you 100% bought into your characters are voices that are independent of you, that would be psychotic. And in the same way, if if I read a brilliance into your novels and that isn't there, isn't that kind of my psychosis?
Mm, every reader brings what they want to a piece. And so sometimes it's interesting when you get a group of readers together and they all talk about the same book. They might see different things in the book or interpret things different ways, and that's fine.
I'm intrigued by what I see as the consciousness in your novel of the elements of doubt, uncertainty, contradiction, dilemma, and ambivalence. This type of consciousness also has an awareness that some things are unknown and perhaps essentially unknowable. To reach this type of consciousness, you need to be aware of what you don't know, of what is unknown, of what might be ultimately unknowable. I think, and I don't think I'm psychotic, okay, but I think your novel has this type of consciousness and is written so that readers can experience this type of consciousness and ultimately can make their own interpretations of the novel guided by this consciousness. I think your novel attains brilliance in the experience it creates of the consciousness of this state of mind.
Well, I hope it does that. Again, you try. You don't know if you succeeded. If you say I did, then I'm very, very happy. And I'm reminded there was a point in there where I remember I was writing from the point of view of Steve Lind, who was the bamboo. And I said that, well, sometimes the characters talk. At the end of one of the sections, he was telling me that he was getting very frustrated. And there's this, the day is long, answer me. That came from his character living in my head was starting to spew dialogue at me, and I was just typing it, going, yeah, I can understand how you'd feel that way. But yeah, he was getting very, very frustrated for reasons that I knew. But beyond that, sometimes I joke that one of my goals in writing the novel is to make you afraid of your houseplants. People do that, and I had someone read my novel and said, well, plants could never think. Well, no, they can't think like that. That's why it's science fiction. But whatever.
Well, exactly. Why are you reading fiction if you don't believe in fiction?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you reading fiction if you're unwilling to enter the imaginative experience of fiction?